AZ Bill 3433 here once again. And any of you YouTubers out there that actually subscribe to a channel called Digitizer 101 have probably seen him do dry baking with alcohol stoves using these silicone type. These are actually jumbo muffin cups. He has some really great videos on this. You should really take a look and see his videos on this. Now this is going to be my take on the dry baking with these two stacked up inside. This is actually a grease pot from Walmart. So here are my components for mine. Now, you know, anybody that does any cooking or anything else in the kitchen knows when they go into their stove, you know, as far as baking and stuff like that, you've got a rack system on the inside of the stove. So basically what I've done is I put together what I think is my rack system. So what I have is two of these muffin fan covers with the legs, actually these are places in which they were bolted on, turned over. This is from Hiram Cook, if anybody's seen his videos on this. These are what he actually uses on some of his baking videos also. So how this works is one of these goes with legs down inside the pot, and then I have a carbon felt pad that goes down on top of that. Right, center it up as best you can. And then what I've actually made is my rack system is actually supported using these Bud Light, actually these are part of the sidewall on Bud Light bottles, taking the curvature of the inside of the pot and making up some supports here. I've actually cut these angles on here just to make it a little safer, and I've actually you know, sanded all this off to make it so it's not too dangerous and it's not sharp at all anymore. They actually go down on the inside here, and I'll show you this as soon as I get them all in here, like this. And they kind of look like that when they're sitting down on the inside. You can probably see that a little easier with the pad down on the bottom also. And then to that we have the second muffin pan, or not muffin pan, but muffin fan cover. This one will have the legs turned up, so that I don't have any interference with my rack down here. Now, what I probably should have done is go ahead and put my, just to show you, put the one muffin cup on the inside so you can see exactly how that is put together and how it's going to look when you get the muffin in there and with the batter. And that goes down on the inside here, and this goes down the inside. Then we, again, we take and put this with the legs up down inside here, so it sits nicely on there. So you can see that it sits real nicely on the on that little rack system. And then the second muffin cup goes on there. It'll have the batter in there, and that's how that all stacks up. So I'm going to go ahead and put the batter together and get this thing started and put on the stove. The one thing I did want to show also, I'm going to use my previous video that I did with this Trangia, or actually the Westwind pot stand with a carbon felt stove adaptation to it. I'm going to be using this today. But I am going to do, if anybody of you make your own carbon felt donuts, I have, well, I guess you call it, let me see if it's over here somewhere. I had it sitting here before, and we'll see it here right now. Let me see here. No, I don't see which one I had here before. Anyway, what I've done is when you make the donuts, you get a little center section out that actually is for the inside wick. When you make them with, you know, I got kind of like a cookie cutter kind of thing that I use when I make them. The center parts that come out are just these little dots. So what I've actually done, instead of making up a wick to go down inside here, I just line all these up on the inside of this stove. I probably got, depending on, I think I probably got about 6 or 7 of them in here. And what that's going to do is that's going to allow me to control the amount of heat I'm going to come off of this stove when I'm baking, because you really want to have a more controlled heat. So let me go ahead and get this all set up and get the, you know, get our muffin mix all ready, and I'll be back in a couple minutes, so we'll get started. Be back. Okay, we're back. I've got the mix all done, and the muffins and the muffin mix are all on the inside. You can see on the inside, this is actually the Betty Crocker date nut mix. Just add water. That's this type of mix that you see here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm already fueled up and ready to go. I'm going to get her lit up. There we go. Get her lit up, and we'll get her started. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my timer here. And I've already done this once before already, so I kind of know exactly about where we're going to have to be as far as time-wise. This configuration is a little bit different from just doing one muffin at a time. And the silicone muffin cups really, if you don't do it in metal and you're doing it in the silicone, it reacts differently than if you were doing it with a metal container. So it's a little bit different way in which you have to do this. It runs a little bit longer, I think. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this run out to about a point where it looks like they're starting to get a little done, and I'll be back and we'll take a look what they look like at that time. Be back in a minute. Okay, I'm just recording this a little bit. We're only about a minute and a half, 2 minutes in. But I wanted to show you what the controlled flame looks like on this particular stove with just those little round discs that, like I said, you accumulate when you're making up the donuts. So I just thought I'd throw this in and let you take a look and see what that looks like. We'll be back. Okay, we're back. We're at the 27-minute mark. And I've actually just turned the little pinch valve off on my fuel line. I've not had to touch the fuel. It was off of my my little push, or my dispenser type system that I have on the fuel bottle now. I didn't have to refuel it one time. It just was keep refueling on its own, and I just control it with the little pinch valve. But anyway, let's take a look and see. I think you can see from there. If we stick well, yeah. Oh, that looks clean. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off the, we still have some residual fire going on there. In fact, it's still quite a bit yet. It'll take a while for that to burn off. Now, what I like to do, because we've talked about this before, since this is a stove put together with JB Weld epoxy, either you let the whole thing burn out, whatever excess fuel is in there, or you take the carbon felt out and put it to the side and light it wherever it's safe to do that. Never leave a piece of carbon felt in your stove if it's got JB Weld, or else it deteriorates that weld. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the camera off, and I'm going to take this and let it sit for about 15-20 minutes at least to let it cool down somewhat. Take it in the house where it's a little cooler. It's cold out here in the garage today. It was about 32 when I got up this morning, so I'm going to go ahead and stop the camera here, and we'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, we're back. We're in the kitchen now, and I think it's cooled down sufficiently here, so let's go ahead and take the first one out and take a look. Last time I remember they get a little stiff around here. The muffin cup does. You just kind of have to work it around until it wants to let go. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, there we go. Put that one over here so you can see. Let me see if I can get this on the camera here. That's the bottom. Top looks pretty good. Nice. Yeah. Break this one open because this is the first one. If this one's done on the inside, you have to really assume that the bottom one is too, and you can see that it's completely done on the inside. This will be my breakfast tomorrow morning. And let's see, we'll get the other parts out here. Here's our first rack. Then we get our rack holders out. These are the rack holders again. Take a look at them here. That's kind of what they look like. Yeah, that looks good. I got that one. And let's go down and get the second one. I'm going to peel this away. Same way. quite stiff. You would think. They'd be a little more pliable, but they're really not. So. Now this one's it's not burnt, but it's a little on the brown, but it's not burnt. I don't think that's burnt, it's just kind of nice and brown. You can see the edges on the top are brown, and bottom's a little bit, so it really works out nice. And of course I'm sure this one's done because it was on the bottom. So anyway, that's what we've got. We've got two nice looking muffins here. And I think that works out really nice. I mean, I thank Digitizer 101 for the idea. Hopefully, you know, I've taken it a little bit further in the way this is set up. I kind of like the way I have it set up here with this particular rack system. So if you have any questions or comments, I'd appreciate them. Otherwise, thank you for watching my videos, and we'll see you again later. Bye-bye.